Hi, everyone. Thanks, Emily, for the presentation, and thank you, Phil, for the introduction. I'm so humbled to have won among so many brilliant entries, and I'd like to express thank you to the sponsors and the judging panel. My name is Vlad Opanasiuk. I'm an engineer, and I'm a founder of a small practice called Red. Check out our website and do reach out. The contact details will be available at the end of the presentation. I'll share the slides on Slack, and you can also visit the sculpture virtually by following the link that I'll be sharing in the presentation and in Slack. That's it. I'm here just to show my face, and you'll now hear my pre-recorded presentation. Thank you very much.
This presentation covers the winning entry to the Sculptural Design Competition. The inspiration for the sculpture came from the work of American mathematician Edward Lorenz. You might not recognize his name, but most people would have heard of the butterfly effect. In the 1960s, he was assisted by the two brilliant ladies, pioneering computer scientists Margaret Hamilton and Ellen Fetter. They helped Lorenz operating the state-of-the-art computer, which weighed 360 kilograms and would set you back 330,000 pounds in today's money. All of this for a power of today's secondary school grade calculator. They developed this set of differential equations known as Lorentz Attractor. The equations describe a simplified model of atmospheric convection. They can be plotted in three-dimensional space, and the results are absolutely stunning. The most famous solution visually looks like a butterfly, which is very poetic, but is not why the equations are famous. One day, Lorenz and his assistants stopped the computer midway through the process and resumed the next day. When they continued calculation, they found that the results the machine was given started to diverge. The two solutions started off very close to each other, but soon they separated and after some time were completely different. This principle can be demonstrated with a double pendulum, which is an example of a chaotic system. In this video, you can see a person setting off a pendulum 6 times. The starting positions are very close, but they cannot be identical because the position of the hand cannot be precisely placed every time. All 6 experiments run very close for a while, but go off on completely different paths after some time. This has a very powerful implication. Pendulum is a simple mechanical system. We can describe its behavior precisely using mathematics. But even if you have the most powerful computer, you can only predict the precise position of the pendulum for only a very short time. This is exactly why the weather people can never tell you whether it will rain tomorrow or not. This is also why it is so hard to predict precisely the outcomes of the climate change. Lorentz Attractor is only a simple chaotic system. It is a tiny piece in a huge puzzle of interconnected processes that drive Earth's climate. That's before we even start considering interactions with the biosphere and human activities. So can a butterfly set a tornado halfway across the world? Probably not. But every action we do as a civilization alters the boundary conditions of the system and pushes us towards a new unknown set of equations. It is an extremely interesting topic, and I invite you to go down the rabbit hole. But for now, let's look at the sculpture itself. The team and I were fascinated by the chaos theory and its relationship to the climate science, so we started experimenting with the equations. I must say, what came out first was far away from the butterfly. We have experimented with the inputs a lot and creating some most bizarre shapes, until we finally arrived at a beautiful butterfly, fitting nicely into a human-scale object. Each solution represents a single trajectory within a probabilistic spectrum, so it's quite difficult to define the precise boundary, and a lot of work went into giving a structure some volume. We also had to make sure that the shape is practical and strong enough. Despite seemingly complex geometry, it was rationalized into 6 transportable pieces. Also, after some analysis, we realized that the sculpture would be quite flexible, especially if made out of timber, and we decided to add some cables to stop it from rocking about. The cable intersections represent focal points in the Lorentz Attractor solutions. Timber was selected as the material which is compatible with the climate change narrative and low-carbon design philosophy. It is also a perfect material to form complex curved shapes as shown by many precedents. Individual layers would be made of CNC-cut marine-grade plywood. The pieces would then be glued together to form the 6 major components. This quick animation shows breakdown of timber layers. We wanted the sculpture to have minimal impact on the environment and to minimize the work on site, which is reflected in the details. Here's the final design. Most of all, we wanted the sculpture to be tactile and interactive. So often we see sculptures that are inaccessible and raised onto a pedestal. We wanted our sculpture to avoid this and to be human-centric, inviting people to walk through or even sit down and enjoy. We were granted a planning permission earlier this year for a site in Surrey campus. We had some hurdles with fundraising due to COVID, but hopefully it will be realized in the coming year. I would like to use this opportunity to reach out to the sponsors and fabricators. This could be a great opportunity for corporate marketing or an exciting additive manufacturing research project. I'm the one speaking today, but this project was a team effort. I'm really grateful for my collaborators, Katie, Charlie, Alex, for making this winning design entry. If you'd like to know more, please reach out on Slack or using my contact details. I run a young and growing digital engineering and design practice. Check out our website and connect on LinkedIn. We'll be happy to collaborate on exciting design projects and help your practice go digital. Thank you very much for listening.